Cardinal Ratzinger told the Archbishop Lefebvre himself about the condemnation of religious liberty by Pope Pius IX in 1864. This is what he said. Well, dear Archbishop Lefebvre, those condemnations against religious liberty and those condemnations by St. Pius X against modernism, they were good in their days. They were necessary in those days. But today the situation has changed and we don't need them anymore. They have no value anymore. That's why they turn their back to tradition, because they don't believe it. They believe it doesn't apply to the circumstances of today. And this, in fact, this statement has itself been condemned. It's crazy. So the same thing applies to that objection about the books of Archbishop Lefebvre and all that. They do apply. Rome has not changed. The only change that happened in Rome is it's worse. It's worse now than when these books have been written. So anyway, what is the answer of the Archbishop about the necessity of being Roman? He says, quote, "We hold fast with all our heart and with all our soul to Catholic Rome, guardian of the Catholic faith," not guardian of the Council Vatican II, guardian of the Catholic faith and of the traditions necessary to preserve this faith. We hold fast to eternal Rome, mistress of wisdom and truth. We refuse, on the other hand, and have always refused, to follow the Rome of neo-modernist and neo-Protestant tendencies, which were clearly evident in the Second Vatican Council and after the Council in all the reforms which issued from it. I repeat, we refuse and have always refused to follow the Rome of neo-modernist and neo-Protestant tendencies. It's very clear. This is the Rome that we follow. That's the eternal Rome, guardian of truth. Another quote from the same document about that question of Rome. "That is why we hold fast to all that has been believed and practiced in the faith, morals, liturgy, teaching of the catechism, formation of the priest, and institution of the church by the church of all time. To all these things as codified in those books which saw they before the modernist influence of the council. This we shall do until such time that the true light of tradition dissipates the darkness obscuring the sky of eternal Rome." So we adhere to eternal Rome, and we defend and love eternal Rome, and by our battle, by our combat, that's the greatest service we can give her. By doing this, I continue the quote, "with the grace of God and the help of the Blessed Virgin Mary and that of Saint Joseph and Saint Pius X, we are assured of remaining faithful to the Roman Catholic Church and to all the successors of Peter, and of being the fideles dispensadores, the faithful dispensators of the mysteries of our Lord." This is our love for Rome, that we are willing to be vilified and to be called names because of our fidelity to the Rome of all time. The last quote about this first argument is taken from an interview of the Archbishop given to the magazine Le Figaro, French magazine, in August the 4th, 1976. Quote, "The adoption of the liberal thesis by a council could only have taken place in a pastoral council that was not infallible and cannot be explained except through a secret and meticulous preparation." You have all the details of these secret preparations in the book from Father Wilgen, The Rhine Flows into the Tiber. I think we have a copy downstairs. That the historians will end up discovering, to the great astonishment of the Catholics who confuse the eternal Roman Catholic Church with human Rome, susceptible of being invaded by enemies covered in scarlet. So this is the confusion here between eternal Rome and the human Rome. A second argument. I'm tired to have to answer to all those arguments. I wish people would stop coming up with new ones all the time. At the end of today, I will have answered 15 of them in 3 sermons. So the second argument that I heard, our situation is abnormal. It gives us a greater freedom and maybe a greater comfort than if we would be with an agreement with Rome, where we would have to follow basically the structure and so forth and so on. Well, I have nothing against such a greater freedom from error and a greater comfort that comes from the security that we know that we are preaching the truth. When you come here, you know that we are preaching the truth. I receive phone calls from people going to indult masses about moral questions, and they tell me, "Father, I go to the indult. I don't go to your chapel. I have a problem. I am phoning you because I know for sure that your answer will be the truth." I've got quite a few phone calls like that. So you come here because of that comfort, that security that you are going to receive the truth and that you are going to receive valid sacraments. Because your priests, the society priests, have been ordained by either the Archbishop himself or by one of his 4 successor bishops. And you know that not only they will use the proper liturgical rite, but they will have the proper intention, which is as well a requirement for the validity. We never know what the intention of a modernist bishop may have when he ordains a priest, even in the traditional rite. And we don't know what kind of intention the bishop who consecrated that bishop had. But this will be the subject of another sermon. Be appeased. That's a bit too long. But that's why you come. That's why you come to confession to us. Because you know that we have been validly ordained. So our situation is abnormal. We should go back into the mainstream. We should go back, with all the guarantees, of course, like what they have given to Don Girouard. We saw that a couple of weeks, 3 weeks, 4 weeks ago. All the guarantees. from the enemies of the church. The enemies of the church are going to give us guarantees. Well, I will tell you what kind of guarantee. It comes from an interview of the Archbishop to the French magazine of the District of France, the Society magazine of the District of France, Fidelitaire, number 70, page 16. And it has to do from, by the way, this quote here I got in French. It comes from a document that was released on the internet a few days ago, and that contained the analysis of Bishop Galarreta about this question of agreement with Rome. I've tried to find it in English. It is not available yet. But it's a 12-page document against an agreement from Bishop Galarreta. So we have 3 bishops who have gone public against this. Anyways, so the question of the magazine, question asked to Archbishop Lefebvre, was about a document written by and published by the Congregation of the Doctrine of the Faith in 1989, and so in those days the head of that congregation was Cardinal Joseph Ratzinger. So that Cardinal Ratzinger has penned up an oath of fidelity that every new priest and every appointed bishop has to make